Welcome to This Week in Points in Travel. I'm your host, JP Buffett. On today's episode, we'll be talking about how the Biden administration is proposing new rules requiring payouts for delays and cancellations, how Air New Zealand is revealing details about its lay-flat beds and economy, and some new co-branded Hilton bonuses. Those stories and more on This Week in Points in Travel. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're all doing well out there. I must say, this week has really flown by for me. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but 1 second is Monday, next second is Friday. Here we are. It's crazy stuff if you ask me. But yeah, I actually had the funniest thing happen to me this week. So I was out with a couple of friends and it was time to pay for the meal. So having points and miles in my mind, I decided to take out my Amex green card and said I would pay. But before I got a chance to, another friend got to the bill before me and basically asked me to Venmo him. I was like, all right, fine, I'll Venmo, it's whatever. And when I noticed, it was actually too late. This person paid with a debit card and I was powerless to stop him. In my mind, I was screaming out my 3X. I swear, this is hobby sometimes. Sometimes it just drives me crazy. But, I didn't make a fuss of it and we all had a good time. But next time, I will prepare myself and drop my card down right then and there. And, because I got to maximize every single dollar. I'm mostly teasing. It's all fun and games. But that was, a very funny experience that happened to me this week. But with that, I want to get straight into our first story. And this is paying out for delays. And this first story comes to us via a Thrifty Traveler. And it talks about how the Biden administration is really trying to take a stab at making airlines accountable for delays and cancellations. This has been happening a lot. I personally haven't been affected myself, but I've seen all the chaos going on with Southwest last Christmas. And I know that there are, when flight cancellations happen, you got to, think about hotels, you got to think about food, you got to think about, how you're going to get this and that. I understand where people are coming from with this. Well, a new proposal by the president and the Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, on Monday revealed that they're pushing for a new federal rule that will require airlines to provide compensation to passengers when the airline is the cause of the issue that results in delays and cancellations. Now, this new proposal will require airlines to provide direct compensation when a delay is in the control of the airlines. That's very important. This is key because the problem cannot be due to weather. Just because you have a snow day does not mean we're getting paid. That's the bottom line. In addition to direct compensation, it will also require that airlines cover costs like hotels, meals, and ground transportation during the time of the disruption. Now, the article points out, and rightfully so, that airlines do often give out vouchers or extra miles as a way to say they're sorry. But the issue here is that this is not guaranteed. And this law basically is trying to make it mandatory that the airlines make these concessions. So the question I was asking myself actually is, and it was kind of also pointed out in our article, like, how do we define what is controllable? Would it be the airline's faults, or would it be the airport's fault? Where is that coming line? Is there a distinction going on? What about the weather? I know that Southwest didn't cause the weather crisis of, December last year, but they were still at fault for a lot of cancellations. So at what point, is it culpable on the airline to have to pay up when it comes to things like weather? And, as an aside, this has actually already been rolled out in Europe. They have a regulation called the EU 261 regulations. And these regulations basically hold airlines accountable to payouts depending on how long a person's flight is delayed. These are basically similar to the proposals that are coming out from the United States government. So, this is only the first steps to, what's going to need to be changing. But I'm happy that they're trying this out. I think personally think it's a good idea. With that being said, though, remember that there are credit cards that will provide these protections if needed. There is trip cancellation, trip delay, stuff like that. So if you are paying for a flight in hotels, remember the card you're using for that. And remember to always insure yourself if you can help it. Okay, we are now moving on to our rapid fire section. In this section, we are starting off with the new bonuses coming from Hilton. You know, you never really know when the bonuses are going to be coming out from Hilton. I must say, this one is a good one. And it's kind of sucks because I already got the business card when they had the other bonus, but it is what it is. Each of these bonuses is coming out with a free night no matter what tier of card you're getting. So you can get the no annual fee card, you can get the Surpass card, you can get the business card, all up to the Aspire card. Though, in fairness, the Aspire card already had this on there. But yeah, the no annual fee card, the Surpass card, and the business card all are having free night offers. And it's pretty easy to get. Even on the no annual fee card, all you got to spend is $1,000 and you get the free night. This is great, you know. This is great, really, if you stay at Hilton's or want to stay at Hilton's. I actually, like I said, I got the bonus for the business card, so I'm like SOL for this one. But I'm actually thinking about getting the no annual fee card just for that free night. And I might upgrade after a year, you know, depending on how I like Hilton. Though I must say, my time with Hilton has been up and down, so I'm gonna give it a couple more tries and see how I feel with the hotel chain. But yeah, this offer is ending on July 19th. I will leave a link in the description to where you can find it. I'm not sure if it's on Amex's website. I was able to find it on Hilton's website, but yeah, either way, I will leave a link for where to find it. But yes, we're now moving on to JetBlue, and JetBlue is transitioning to their new True Blue loyalty program. This story comes via Travel Weekly. With this restructuring, JetBlue will add 2 new Mosaic loyalty statuses and change the method you can obtain stats. This is pretty nice because I really didn't like the way that they got stats before, but neither here nor there. There are also new rewards. So basically you can get rewards like early boarding, priority security, lane access. I think that's basically TSA pre-check. But yeah, you can check out the JetBlue's website for more details on that story. Finally, there is a new flight, well, kind of like a added flight that goes directly from LAX to Charles de Gaulle Airport. This is in Paris, CDG, and they're relaunching basically their daily flights. And this is honestly a pretty strategic plan because Paris is actually hosting the Summer Olympics next year. I did not know that until I looked up on the story. But yeah, if you're on the West Coast, this can be very advantageous, especially if you're trying to get tickets to the Olympics. I don't know if you actually get tickets to the Olympics. Either way, this is a nice thing, especially if you want to go nonstop from LAX, from the West Coast to Paris. And that will end our rapid fire segment. Our final story of the day will be out of Air New Zealand. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about United partnering with Air New Zealand for West Coast flights. Well, the airline is back in the news and it is upgrading its economy. Well, kinda. Yeah, so Air New Zealand is adding lay flat seats in economy. This story is coming via Travel and Leisure. These are seats, or this type of economy is called Skynest, and basically is where bunk bed concepts are being added to Air New Zealand flights. So these flights are expected to debut for ultra long haul travel starting in September 2024, so a little over a year away, and it will feature 6 pods, each with a full-size pillow, sheets, blanket, earplugs, basically the works. And the pods are expected to cost between $253 to about $379 for a 4-hour session. Here I said that, for a 4-hour session. So the downside to these pods is that they are shared between guests. So you're not able to have one for yourself the entire time. But if you're in economy and would like a nice rest, on your trip from New Zealand to New York or to Chicago, this might be the way to go. Each passenger can book one session in the pod, and for them to change between passengers is about a 30-minute transition period. All in all, I think this is a pretty neat idea. It gives people the option to have things that are in first class for a smaller price. It's a nice thing, when you can customize your trip. It's not always the best, but sometimes you want to be able to customize things you want and things you don't want. But yeah, it sounds like an interesting experience to me. I'm not sure if I'll be forking over that kind of money anytime soon, but if I do, you better believe I will make a YouTube video about that experience. So yeah, that is it from me here. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave a like or a review. Thank you again for listening. I will see you all next Friday. Until then, peace.